like floating towards the top. So green-black elves and green-black rock that were towards the top of the queue are still there with a bunch of points. They're just waiting until the new set releases. So that way, as soon as the set drops, we can have a reason to play with them and the new cards. I've also, if you're taking a look at the queue, I've sorted decks that are being exclusively played on Meme Monday because they're just like super dank memes further down in the queue as well. So they're in their own category labeled meme. So if I accept some decks, I'm accepting with the stipulation of these are only appearing on Mondays, basically. So you can take a peek in the queue yourself. Exclamation point deck queue in chat. I'll get you a link. Would love to go first. Thank you. Sand looks great. Towards SGG Con. Thank you, Kanamis. I appreciate it. Nice, Captain Magar. Hope you had a fun weekend. Magic tournaments are a good time in moderation. This deck needs more Wizard Lightning? Maybe. There's bolts in this deck, right? I believe there's bolts in this deck, yeah. Miscreant is not a wizard, so probably don't have enough. And obviously the ninjas aren't wizards either. I think I just lead on Inquisition here probably. And then next turn we can go Miscreant plus tap land. Yeah, we'll see. I'm curious. I have low expectations for Ninja of the Deep Hours, if I'm being honest. Well, that's a pretty medium 6 that they were leaning on this Faithless Looting for. Here's to play Remand and Modder. What's going on, Detroit? Yeah, Remand's a little hit or miss. It's either like a 2 or a 10, right? It's either like the best card in a given matchup or just like doesn't do a whole lot. Well, it does like at least cycle for 2 mana. Cycling for 2 mana is like not really where you want to be in life. I'm gonna sit on that for a hot second. Just get my clock into play here, you know? Give him the old Miscreant beatdown. I think about splashing black. I think that deck has a lot of double color, or has a lot of colorless lands in it, so like trying to splash a double color card into it seems a little bit ambitious. We're actually going to play green-white scales later tonight, which is a slightly less ambitious splash because we're not playing a ton of green and white cards. And in addition to that, we are also what's the word I'm searching for? We also like play Horizon Canopy anyway, so the splash is like a little bit more free. Dips and Quackers, thanks for re-upping for the 6th month in a row there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Well, that's kind of scary. They've got Through the Breach in their hand, so I don't really have a good answer to that. If they don't give us anything to Spellstutter Sprite this turn, I'm probably going to fetch Basic Mountain and send the Bolt upstairs. That's about all that card's doing in this matchup. Yeah, unfortunately, Spellstutter Sprite is just like not particularly impressive if they don't have if you don't have Bitter Blossom going. Maybe I'm supposed to just like fire up the Tar Pit this turn and get in there. I think I'm supposed to leave up Sprite for one more turn. They're just gonna like have a 5th mana next turn and kill me. Just gonna do this. Well, I mean, that actually lets us beat the World Spine Worm, right? Because I fetched a 16 here, and I fire up old Creepy Boy. And then we hit them for 5, both of them hit them for 5, and they hit us for 15 in the middle, and it doesn't matter because they're dead. What else have you thought about Assassin's Trophy? Do you think the website list is a good place to start? I have my article last week, Detroit, was actually talking explicitly about building black green with Assassin's Trophy. So my shell for straight green black that I'm gonna start with is on Cool Stuff Inc. And then as soon as we get cards on Magic Online and on whatever it's called, the Stream Decker, it'll be updated on my site accordingly. No, I don't think blue-white control is very good. And guess what? Just like every other idiot that looks at Magic data, I just get to sit here and tell you it's my feelings. Because guess what? There isn't objective data to say that blue-white is actually good. Yo, dog, I heard you like resubs. What's going on? Super. Thanks for the 6 months there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Pick up your training sword and begin your journey to learn to defend Hoglandia. Yeah, evasion is sweet. And this is just like a great example of like why Lightning Bolt is just such an A+ piece of removal, right? Like, if these have been fatal pushes or terminates or, you know, any other piece of removal here. I guess Path Exile would have been fine because we wouldn't have taken a hit from this, but like any of the black removal here, we would have just like died, right? Because we wouldn't have been able to send 6 upstairs. I just really feel like the blue-white deck, and I'm sure it's reasonable, right? I was pleased that it looked like the 4x. I need to look at all the lists, but Salvato is playing the 4x Terminus build, which makes me feel good in my assessment that like 4x Terminus is like the thing you want to be doing in that archetype. Hey, Equin, thank you for the 12-month resubscription there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So Terminate's pretty bad here, and we'll leave in the couple of Lightning Bolts just because they have a text box at least. Countersquall is sweet. We get to put in a bunch of really good counterspells post board in this matchup, and we have a couple of surgical attractions as well. Just like our counterspells let us cover the Through the Breach angle really nicely, and their surgical attractions give us some extra tools against the Breach angle, or the Goryo's angle. Yeah, this hand seems fine, right? Like, gets the hold up Countersquall, and then flash in Snapcaster Mage if they don't give us something to squall. We did win game 1. They breached in a worm and put us to 1, and we killed them with Lightning Bolt. Just as the good Lord intended. Was that a good draw? How do we feel about that one, chat? Does that one make you feel things? Does that one make you feel things? Yeah, Tinnitus, like, we don't really have good data is the problem, right? Like, we don't know if blue-white put up a bunch of results because it was a large portion of the field playing it. We don't have, like, conversion results and a whole bunch of other stuff that, like, would be really useful in terms of, like, knowing what's good or bad. And just, again, just like that, that's the reason why Wizards of the Coast hides the data, because when there is a new deck that comes to the scene like that, we can't make informed or educated discussions about the deck. We just have to, like, sit here and fling poop at each other and talk about our feelings and our experience without, like, anything factual to back it up, really. Yeah, just, like, look at like, Hong Kong versus look at wherever Stockholm versus look at the Open. Just, like, there were so many different results based on, like, basically the same formats going on, right? Like, they're all modern, but they're just, like, very different top 8s. There's still, you know, a healthy smattering of humans, of course. I think I'm pretty happy counterscrolling there, especially like the Snapcaster Mage and this other counterscrolling stuff in my hand. Yeah, I agree with that. The Figure Destiny deck was hot. This Ninja of the Deep Hours is about to be just like the Stone Cold Nuts, huh? Blue-White was also the most played deck among people who had 3 buys, which is a big deal. I mean, I don't know. Like, in my opinion, the most important metric for what makes a good competitive format is, can the good players win consistently? And the good players can win consistently in Modern, so in my opinion, that makes it a good competitive format. The variety that Modern has also makes it a good spectator format, as well as a good casual format. It's funny. Matt and I would always joke that Modern is so popular because it's basically competitive EDH, right? It's just like this format where you can kind of like show up and do whatever you want and like still be moderately successful at it. This ninja of the deep hour is about to bury him deep in the ground, chat. Deep in the ground. Just like never leaving counter magic down for the remainder of the game. That's really bad, Frostkitty. Why do you keep asking me if I want to draw a card, Magic Online? Are you stupid? Why wouldn't I want to draw a card? Come on now. What a dumb question, Moto. Bash Scooter. Thank you very much for the biddies there. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. So do I negate this or do I remand it? Part of me wants to just remand it, right? Just like good clean value. Just like make them have another green card. I think I'm just gonna remand it. Let's put that right back where it came from, shall we? The original Eddie, thanks for re-upping that Twitch Prime for the second month in a row. So we're shipping those Bezo bucks this way. I do appreciate that. What if we didn't do that and instead we took all of your toys away? Well then. Well. How'd they board? They brought in Sanctities and Thoughtseizes. Yeah, this is probably a tougher matchup for them. We have both discard spells and counter spells and surgicals. You know what the best part about this is? I get to draw a card. What if I took all of your toys away, opponent? Would that make you sad? Would it make you sad if you didn't have toys anymore? Gosh, you know why Snapcaster Mage is great? Because it reads red kicker, deal 3 damage to your opponent. This is the best kicker card ever printed. Just like red kicker. Upstairs. Upstairs. Kick it. I think trying to predict what R&D is going to do with a ban list is, I don't know. You might as well just like slam your hand in a car door because it's going to be a more pleasant experience. Just like have no idea what's going on. They just do whatever they want. They got all their, I just like, there's like someone, in my mind, there's someone at R&D who's just like Scrooge McDuck swimming through data. And just like everybody else is just like, no, it's my data, Hogland. You can have none of it. Counter your squall, baby. Counter your squall. Kick it. Any chance of a third league this evening? The only way I'm doing a third league this evening is if somebody wants to cut the line something. Micah Mind, thank you for the 7-month resubscription. Remember, I have my normal work day in the morning, so I have to be up at the old, I have to be live by the old 9 a.m. so Meme Monday can happen. What did we play today? This was game 1, match 1, so I try not to stream against the major modern tournaments because my viewer base is primarily people who watch and play modern. So like if there's a modern opener Grand Prix going on, I'd have to split some of my viewer base. So the SCG I believe is in their finals right now, so I fired up now so we can catch some of the people as that event finishes up. I would just like the record to reflect that I I am going to be consistent and continue to request that we ban Ancient Stirrings and, what's that other messed up card? Ancient Stirrings and Faithless Looting. We just, like, get rid of the last messed up pieces of card selection. I was thinking about maybe doing some champions after a couple of leagues tonight, but their servers have been having some issues this weekend. Like, occasionally, like, getting stuck, so I'm not sure I want to stream it if their servers are having issues. Like, gets hung trying to find an opponent or something. Jace isn't the reason the Miracles deck is good. Just so we can be above the board and clear with what the problems are with the blue-white deck, or what the good cards are. The reason why the blue-white deck is good can be linked back to a couple of things, and they are Terminus, Teferi, and probably Search for Azcanta if I had to pick a third. Those are the powerful things that deck is doing. That deck plays Jace the Mind Sculptor to make Terminus better. Yeah, this tap land's kind of a buzzkill. Blue source. Ew! Ew! That was a good pickup, chat. That was a good pickup. Yeah, if Voice of Resurgence wasn't unplayable pre-Terminus, it's definitely unplayable post-Terminus, right? Like, the card was already pretty bad, and then, like, they got rid of the one upside the card has, which was supposed to be a threat that's good against sweepers. Why do you hate Baku Visions? Baku Visions is, like, perfectly appropriate and family-friendly, and whoever approved that artwork was just, like, truly reasonable. I think banning Ancient Stirrings and Faithless Looting is reasonable for the same reasons that Ponder and Preordained are banned. Gosh, we are so good drawing lands off the top. We get to Snap Snare the second Goyf. I just think powerful, redundant card selection makes formats kind of dry. It's a big part of the reason why Legacy is not a format that I particularly enjoy. So they have Terminate, Abrupt Decay, Tarmogoofy. I wonder what they're holding up here. Do they have like a Culligan's Command? This pass smells like Culligan's Command to me, right? Anybody else getting the odor of Culligan's Command? Culligan's Command odor. Am I supposed to snap Inquisition here? How do we feel about snap Inquisition? Careful said he's like not even playable. Hot take. Hot take. Cards selection that's like net negative cards like that is bad. I like Snap Snare. So like the problem with Snap Snare is like there's no guarantee that they play into a Snap Snare next turn. And I kind of just like want to get my thing on the table. Like Snap Snare is like taking a Tarmogoyf. It's like gaining us some tempo. Snap Inquisition is much better against Bloodbraid Elf too. And I'm pretty confident they're Culligan's commanding me this turn. I think there's a good chance I should have Snap Inquisition last turn. I think there's a good chance I should have Snap Inquisition last turn. Please remember, if you want to provide a dissenting opinion on this channel, I encourage reasonable and intelligent discourse that contributes to discussions, but just like showing up and telling me that I'm wrong or something that I said is silly, like that's not reasonable or contributing anything. It's just you stroking yourself off to make yourself feel better and smarter because you decided to put down the person on the talkie box. We'll have none of that here. There's plenty of other Twitch chats where you can go and say stuff like that. Go enjoy one of them. Again, talking about saying that it is silly to ban Ancient Stirrings is like saying that it's silly to ban Ponder and Preordain. And those cards are very clearly banned for good reasons, because the gameplay they create is redundant and annoying. Alright, so they have double Goyf, double Doomblade. The read on the Culligan's command there was so sick, by the way. I feel real good about that. Definitely, I don't have that many ways. I've got 2 Fatal Pushes and 2 Terminates. Yeah, I definitely just need to take Tarmogoyf away here. I got you, Rad. Spellstutter Sprite. Looking pretty awkward here. Kinda wish I could attack with this Creeping Tar Pit, but I've got this reactive card in my hand that really makes me want to do something. I think I'm just going to pass here, and then, even if they don't give me something to Sprite, just, like, flash it in as a 2-mana 1-1. So that way I can just, like, start attacking next turn. What shirt am I wearing? It's like a Superman that's, like, blood dripping down or something like that. I don't know. It's some random shirt Christy bought me. What a mountain. Thank you for the 25-month resub there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's so long. Yeah, the Mutavault's an okay pickup with a Sprite. Like, lets us counter a 2-mana thing, theoretically. Yeah, like, to a degree, assuming they don't have a removal spell of some sort. I have another Culligan's Command here. Been playing the Gifts Eldrazi deck. It's actually been very solid. Sweet, Pizza Leagues. I'm glad to hear that. It's got, like, a reasonable assortment of cards in it, right? It doesn't seem that bad to me on paper, at least. So, hopefully they try to terminate the Mutavault here, and then I get to flash in Spellstutter Sprite and counter it. That's a Fatal Push. Could be an Abrupt Decay. Abrupt Decay on the Snapcaster Mage would be a little annoying. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Can't counter that one. I can, however, counter that one. Yeah, I changed my mind about flashing in the Sprite because we drew Mutavault. Because, like, Mutavault means I can fire it up and still hold up Sprite like I did here, which is nice. So our hand is Terminate plus 1 card I don't know. Goif's a big boy. Between the Lightning Bolt and my unblockable creature land, I might be okay here. Would I accept Legacy Tron for the Legacy meme stream? I do have one more slot. Yeah, probably. Let's go with it. It's been a while. People have asked about that. Sure. Sure, I'll take Legacy Tron for Legacy meme stream. Because Terminus is, like, I don't think that, again, I don't think anything in the blue-white control deck is a problem. I just think identifying Jace as the most powerful thing the blue-white deck is doing is incorrect. I wouldn't ban anything out of blue-white. I don't think anything in blue-white needs to go away. I'm just saying that identifying Jace as the most powerful or problem card in the deck, I think is unrealistic because it's not the card that gives the deck legs. The card that gives the deck legs is the 1-mana card that lets you clean the board up. That's the card that's like a modern playable effect, a very powerful thing. Allows you to catch back up and like regain tempo. When's the Legacy meme stream? I think a week from tomorrow is when we're gonna do it. So they have Terminate as the last card in their hand. Since we drew the 6th land, we're just gonna fire up both creature lands and smack them, I think. I think I'm gonna hold back Spellstutter Sprite to block the Tarmogoyf. Generally speaking, you want to start chump blocking with your bad creatures the turn before you die, because you don't want to leave yourself open to them ripping a removal spell and killing you if you can avoid it. So I assume one of the creep boy is gonna die here. We'll let them for 2 down to whatever this number is, probably 11 if they have a basic. Some of these decks don't play basic mountain. They also like might want another green source. Well, right now the queue is frozen, so it's tier 3 subs or $50+ donations to add new decks into the queue. Modern, Eldrazi asterisk, Eldrazi Winter aside, Modern basically always has tons of decks that are playable and lots of varied play patterns. Anybody else who's like trying to sell you on that not being the case is like has a selective memory, or it's like remembering very specific tournaments. And suddenly with the Fatal Push Rip, we're actually a little bit ahead here. Like, both of us have nothing. Their deck's probably a little bit better at top decking than ours, obviously, but we've got Mutavault in play. Blue-white has gotten a ton of really small, subtle upgrades, which is good. I think it's a sweet deck. I understand people don't like playing against Terminus, but from a play pattern perspective, I would much rather play against Terminus than Tron lands. A B A2B. I'm bad at reading usernames. A2B2C4. Thank you for the $5 support. I appreciate that. All unclaimed donations are going to the SCG fund, so thanks for working to send me there. If this connects, we are going to be in an absurd spot. And when I said their top deck's better, I didn't account for the fact that we have ninjas. It's feeling a little cryptic, chat. Feeling a little cryptic. Abrupt decay this one. Where's your Assassin's Trophy now, opponent? Oh, wait, you don't have that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Read. Man, how do we feel about this Bob? Bob is, like, totally on our team, right? I think Bob's playing for Team Faerie Ninja. Bloodbraid Elf! Ayo! Bobby! Bobby! Declan would like to say hi to the internet. Would you like to say hi to the internet, Declan? You say hi? Hi.
I want to stay down here.
You want to stay down here? Unfortunately, Daddy has to work, so you have to go back upstairs with Mom. Can you say bye, internet?
No.
No. All right.
Come on.
Sweet. And now we get to, ew. Tempo. Alright. Alright, we're doing stuff. We're doing things. I told you Bob was playing for the home team. Robert Bob Fedant. I take back most of the bad things I've said about you in your lifetime. You're an okay dude. You're a swell dude, Robert. Swell duderino. Prime Duderson. How do we feel about Grimboy? I think I like Grimboy because it teams up with Lightning Bolt to kill larger things. How much for a league with the kids in the room like the old days? Probably a lot, because it makes the content significantly worse. I love my kids, but they are loud. And screaming children. The lack of screaming children is definitely one of the many things that allowed this stream to grow. Yeah, I think that's what I want. The discard spells are like kind of appealing in a matchup like this, but remember these matches often come down to games like that last one where we're both kind of top decking back and forth, and drawing discard spells is really, really bad in a situation like that. Declan's probably not that far off of being able to stream for a year or two. It's a pretty easy mulligan, right? Alright. Alrighty then. The best part about getting Thoughtseized here. So this is the part where they Thoughtseize me and they look at this hand and they go check really quick if I scryed top or bottom. Oh yeah. You take that Faerie Miscreant, opponent. It was coming for you. It was gonna do you dirty. You think that's the first time a Faerie Miscreant's ever been Thoughtseized? Like good chance it's the first time. Yep. Big old goofy green creature. They've been useless for you. That seems fine. The sideboard on the Elves deck is going to get pushed around a little bit once we get some trophies to jam into there. Yeah, but Miscreant didn't really see play in Standard. Alright, we're going to cast Doomblade on this dork. I wouldn't classify the blue-white matchup as horrible, but I also wouldn't call it good. I think as far as your 50% deck goes, that one's definitely probably on the closer to the 40-60 side of the table. You're a little bit of a dog. Having 4 instant speed ways to kill Teferi and Jace with our new friend getting added to the format will be good for it too, though. So this like puts the shields on and like gives them a big thumbs up to stick Liliana here, but like I don't really have a better thing to do. Like they're probably just gonna jam the Liliana regardless, so ditch this fatal push here. I think I might ditch the push and hope to draw a I think the land count in this deck's a little bit low overall. I adjusted the specific lands the deck was playing a little bit from what the person who sent the deck in submitted, but I didn't actually add more lands. And I think there's a good chance this deck should have at least 25 lands in it. Okay, Bloodbraid for Cryptic game. Blue source. Untap blue source. Ninja. Alright, they have a Terminate here. We're like basically just dead, but that's fine. You definitely like need to draw cards here to get back in this game. This is still a couple turns from ulting, which is nice for us. We have another Bloodbraid. Whale. Alright, here's hoping we draw a blue source. If we don't draw a blue source, we're going to have to throw one of these away to give the Liliana a love tap. That was a good draw. This card is so bad right now. With all the, like, the blue-white matchup is the big place where you want a card like Thrun, and he's very bad there now that they're playing Terminus. Doesn't have the desired impact any longer. Yeah, no worries, Blur. I like I said, I definitely think that that's one of the harder matchups for that archetype. I like that they pivoted off of trying to ult this, which is nice. They draw a threat here, or are they firing up Ravine? Yeah, this is pretty scary. We're dead in like just a couple of turns. Really love a blue source here still. It's a great draw. See if they plus her or not. Probably gonna have some combination of tap creatures and bounce something, but I'm not sure what exactly we're bouncing. Do I want to bounce the Liliana here, or do I want to bounce the Raging Ravine? I probably want to bounce the Raging Ravine. So I'm gonna bounce Ravine and tap their Thrun. I don't want to bounce the Liliana because I'll just like replay her and then Edict the Ninja right away. Nice potato. And the blue-red deck's a lot of fun. See if they drew a threat here or not. Okay. You don't know that we're going to have the tools to fight through this here. I think these tiers can be a little bit too much. Try and get game 3 on the play here. We did actually have an Out to the Throne. Or 1 copy of Damnation. Grimboy's actually pretty okay in here too, right? Because if we Grimboy on 1, they like don't have a creature we can ninja on 2. Yeah, I agree, Pikes. I agree. People love Cryptic Command. Cryptic Command is the reason so many people register Blue-White Control. It's just a very iconic Magic card that people love casting. This hand is great because I've cleverly left all of the good spells on top of my deck. You were wanting to add a bit more reach to a deck by adding red, which burn spell would you put in after Bolt? Probably Burst Lightning. Abrade's not reach. Abrade is. Abrade doesn't hit players. Gosh, if Abrade hit players, it would just be a 4 of and just like basically everything. I can't even imagine if Abrade hit players. It'd just be unreal. Every time a lightning bolt kills a Tarmogoyf, an angel gets a swing shot. Never forget. That would be some major lightning strike power creep. Yes, it would. Well, my plan of drawing spells at some point this game is not quite coming to fruition, which is unfortunate. Stop it. I hope they kill this Spellstutter Sprite in response so this resolves. And I get to see my handful of lands. Yeah, do it! Doomblade my 1/1. Yeah! Yeah, you got me. You got me. Rats! How will I ever win this game now? Get 2 for 1. The real value. See, chat, cleverly leave your spells on top of your deck. That way they can't see it come. They can't play around cards that you don't know are coming. There might be some merit to leaving this up. Gosh, I hope they cast Thrun here. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Because I kind of want to preserve the number of cards in my discard pile. Was the reason I did that. Maybe it was silly. Just boop you on the nose. Grimboy is very good. The matches where he's good, he's great. This matchup, he's just like kind of mediocre, but I feel like he's like better than Inquisition of Kozilek. But in the matches where he's good, he is quite absurd. Well, that is unfortunate for us. There are 3 creatures in discard piles right now. 4 creatures. It's like a 6/6. Need a Terminate or a Fatal Push ASAP. It's possible I should have like sat tight on the Damnation for a hot second, but I really didn't want them to like draw a Thoughtseize and then make me feel bad about waiting. Maybe because I drew Spellstutter Sprite, I could have hung out. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe because I drew Spellstutter Sprite, I could have like waited. We're kind of like just dead here, right? There's some wailing and gnashing of teeth upstairs. That's on a different floor of my house and through a door. Oh, children. Them's the beats, chat. Them's the beats. Seen a little bit of that. There is, I'm gonna heave a heavy sigh as I say this, but there is a reason that we started with 4 Spellstutter Sprites in blue-red tempo, and then we moved to 3, we moved to 2, and I played 1 in the open, and then I've cut her all together. She's just not quite good enough for this format. Not without Bitter Blossom. Not without Bitter Blossom. And Bitter Blossom's, like, only okay. She feels reasonable in blue-black fairies, but that deck has other problems that are not centered around her. What deck would you play in Modern if you didn't have much money? Probably Mono Green Stompy or Storm. The Green Stompy list is a good time. We played that a few times. I mean, so I just want to take a hot second to talk about something, because when people talk about spells you should and shouldn't play, they do so for incorrect reasons a lot of the time. So I'd like to give a quick example here of what I mean. So people are saying this deck shouldn't play Cryptic Command, and they're saying we shouldn't play Cryptic Command because we have Mutavault and we're 3 colors. That's the wrong reason to say we shouldn't play Cryptic Command. The thing that determines whether or not you can play Cryptic Command in your deck is how many blue sources are in your deck. So, for example here, if I pull out the lands that don't make blue mana, I actually have 19 lands that make blue mana in this deck, which I actually think is a very reasonable number to play Cryptic Command. So, like, for example, let's pull up a random blue-white list on MTG Goldfish and look at how many blue sources that they play. And this is just like a good deck building thing, I think. So, like, this is blue-white control, which nobody says shouldn't be playing Cryptic Command. This blue-white control deck has 2 lands that don't make blue, 6 lands that don't make blue. So this blue-white control deck that nobody ever says shouldn't play Cryptic Command has less blue sources than the 3-color deck that we are currently playing. So just like for the record, I often see people say things like that, like you shouldn't play this card in your deck because you have a colorless land, or etc., and you shouldn't be looking at what the mana base is. You should be looking at how many pips you have of each color in your mana base. And if this deck doesn't have enough blue sources in it, then like all these other decks definitely don't have enough blue sources in it. Field of Ruin is not really a blue source. That's like, I had someone tell me they cut a bunch of black sources from Green Black Rock, and they were like, well, Field of Ruin's a black source. It's like, it's kind of this awkward, like, quarter ass backwards black source. Like, it's not really a black source. I probably want to shock and go Inquisition here. Their hand is bad, but our hand doesn't exactly line up well into what Jund has going on. Not really, JVL, because you always have a choice on whether or not you fetch Blood Crypts. Like if you're setting yourself up to cast Cryptic Command, you can prioritize getting blue sources. I know today is Wife Appreciation Day. Isn't every day Wife Appreciation Day? Do I use OBS when streaming on Linux? I do use OBS while streaming on Linux. 22.0.0 at the moment. Thank you for the bits, Nindens. I appreciate that. That's a smart reply. Look, I'm not new, chat. I've been doing this a while. What's going on, Neil? Evening. Towards Mardu. Thank you, Kanamis. Alright, so we get to... We're getting 2 for 1 here, but things are kind of coming together okay for us. They used a Verdant, so their hand is Treetop. Their hand is Treetop plus a Verdant at the moment, I believe, because they had 2. We're going to take a hit from the Bloodbraid. I basically need to find ways to not die to these creature lands at this point. Yeah, OBS works really well. And it's come a long way on Unix operating system since it released for sure. I'm going to play this Polluted Delta out, so that way if they attack with this turn, I can fetch Shock and Bolt this. Get on that plane and in the hotel. Thank you, Squid Squad. I appreciate it. Actually, just started looking at prices for flights because it was looking like we might hit the goal. So this is gonna trade for Verdant Catacombs here. So this is interesting. Do I want, if I bin the Tar Pit, I can fetch... I think I'm supposed to actually bin my Tar Pit here because I want to be able to hold up Lightning Bolt next turn. So that way I cannot die to this Raging Ravine, I think is what's going to happen. I can also just, like, maybe I was just supposed to bolt this. It's a tough nut to crack. To bolt this now, I'd have to, like... I have to shock myself, which is pretty unappealing as well. Looks like we draw for the turn. If we draw a brick, it's an easy decision. Yeah, Abrade's not particularly impressive here at the moment. So I'm going to ship this into Lily here. Yeah, I definitely think it's possible that Creeping Tar Pit's the best creature land out of all of them. Card's very good, like unblockable, and the fact that like it converts. The way I always evaluate creature lands is like how do they convert damage or mana into damage, and like Creeping Tar Pit is like pretty much the tippy top of like the converting mana into damage scale, especially when you consider the fact that it's evasive. So they didn't attack with any of their creature lands. I think I'm supposed to attack into a potential removal spell here. It's possible they just didn't attack because they wanted to respect Lightning Bolt. Well, that seems... I feel like this is probably this is a Culligan's command. I feel real bad here. Like, shock my thing, pick Bloodbraid back up. Yeah, that's probably what this is. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I feel pretty dead regardless of what we do here. Jund does not seem like a particularly good matchup for us. We just have... And this is what happens with these kind of, like, synergy-style decks against our card quality deck, like Jund. We have a lot of these individually weak cards in our deck, and then we just end up getting buried by their higher average card quality. We're cutting card from Tron. God bless you, Trod players. You do you, Trod players. I don't know. As somebody who, I don't know, is represented by the rest of the world, please cut cards from Tron. I feel like cutting Karn from Tron is being like, maybe you should just play a different deck. Because, like, you obviously want to beat matchups that, like, Tron is not equipped to be beating. If you want to cut Karn, I think. Yeah, it feels to me like at that point, like, if you think the deck is in such a... If you're expecting to play against enough decks where Karn isn't good, you should, like, reassess that, like, Tron's a deck that you really want to be playing or not. Karn's kind of bad in the go-wide matchups. Is Karn's bad against blue-white? Is that... It's been a while since I've hammered a lot of Tron, but... It was not my experience when I was playing Tron that Karn was bad against blue-white. That was not my experience. The linked screenshot there had a bunch of World Breakers, and, like, World Breakers, like, good against blue-white, sure. So this, like, represents a counterspell, which hopefully encourages them to play another 1-mana discard if they have it. Kuhwin, thank you for the 2-month resub there. I appreciate that. Why not start on the tar pit? I had a reason. I don't know where it went. I thought I had a reason. That's probably wrong. Four months in glorious Outlandia. Bubba Jinxed. Thanks for re-upping for the 4th month in a row. Thanks for the 3rd of a year. Welcome back. Is that Kitchen Finks? It's like a Fulminator Mage or a Liliana that they just tapped wrong for. It's annoying. I'm just gonna move on to the next one. Just, like, sitting here with these Spellstutter Sprites in my hand, and these cards just, like, don't line up at all. Please take my bits and time me out. I got you, Ribbon. Thank you for the support as always. That is not a game 1 concede. Not even close. Kids these days trying to cheat their bingo squares don't work for nothing. Boundary Street Denizen. Alright. Mitten Monsters. Thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. I don't understand, like... Sultai is, like, the color... Sultai, Esper, Temur... People just, like, desperately want these things to be good, and they're just not. A flexible Doomblade is not Sultai's issue. Sultai's issue isn't that they're missing a flexible Doomblade. Sultai's issue is that adding blue spells doesn't bring anything meaningful to green-black rock, and adding green to blue-black control doesn't really fix its problems, in my experience. Like, those are, like, the two like, base directions you can take Sultai. It's like, one of them color combinations, you just, like, die to Blood Moon all the time. Just, like, really, really not a pleasant experience overall, in my experience. I didn't say Thought Scour didn't benefit it. I said the benefits it offers don't outweigh the drawbacks. People like to pretend that splashing colors in Modern is free, and that really just can't be further from the truth. Thanks for always making so much great content. Awesome. Well, thank you for the support, Mint Monster. Thanks for helping keep me here so I can stick around. So we're going to take 4 here, because I assume they're just going to play Bushwalker. We finally had our baby, Project Swamp. Thanks for re-upping for the 9th month in a row. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for all the support you've given here. My crowns are a big part of why I was able to move into full-time. What's going on, folks? Coming over from SCG. What do I think is the best Blood Moon right now? I don't think Blood Moon in general is very good in Modern right now. But I think Mardu Pyromancer is the best Blood Moon deck because Blood Moon isn't particularly good in Modern right now. Because Mardu Pyromancer gets to be a Blood Moon deck when being a Blood Moon deck is good. And when being a Blood Moon deck isn't good, it gets to cast Faithful Suiting and discard its copies of Blood Moon. I, for one, have no trouble curving Thoughtseize into Strangleroot Geist into Goblin Shade Whirler. Oh, Pikes. At some point, we'll draw a threat and it will be glorious. What I think is the best mid-range deck in Modern currently. Either Pyromancer or Green Black Rock. I think Pyromancer is better at drawing cards, and Green Black Rock is better at killing people. Living End won the Open. Living End is like on the list of like 50 decks that if you told me it won the Open, I'd be like, yeah, that's a Modern deck that people play that could win an Open. Fatal Push, God bless. Probably want to Fatal Push before I Terminate because my opponent's deck has cards like Reckless Bushwhacker and Goblin Chieftain in it. So potentially waiting to not have that happen is good. Will Assassin's Trophy warp the format? Nope. I think Assassin's Trophy will help Green Black Rock more than it will help Jund. I think there's already been little reason to play Jund over Green Black Rock, and I think Assassin's Trophy gives you even less reason to play Jund. One of the big things that Jund and Abzan had over straight Green Black Rock was that they had Terminate and Path to Exile, and guess what? Now, like, we have our own Terminate and Path to Exile, basically. It's really easy to sit and be an armchair expert watching people who have played Magic for 15, 16, 17, 18 matches and be like, how did this person ever make it to the top 8? I play Magic way better than they do. I'm an expert. This person's an idiot. Why don't I get to top 8 opens? And the only thing I have to say to you is if you really feel that way, put your money where your mouth is and go out and prove it. Until you've sat in that chair and known the mental wear from playing that many matches and the anxiety you feel when you play on camera the first time for most people, it's nerve-wracking. And it's very easy to sit at home and act like you're this big hot thing. And if you're this big hot thing, go out there and prove it. Go do it. Go show us that you're the best. And that person's just stupid and lucky. That is really unfortunate for us. Pretty dead here. I don't understand this, like, this metric where, like, we have to make ourselves feel better by, like, crapping on these other people. Why don't we just be like, yeah, guess what? They got a little bit lucky to win this tournament. Everybody who does well at any point in any tournament got lucky to do so. That's how Magic the Gathering works. This is a game where the best players in the world, like, win, like, 65% of their matches, and that's considered good. We are unfortunately dead to this Remand runes. Twitch chat is the highest ranked Magic player in the world. You're not wrong. Look, Twitch chat didn't make it into my Pokemon Go team by mistake, okay? I know they're valuable. I know what's up. We, like, cut a bunch of these Cryptic Commands. Spell Snare's probably pretty bad here, too. If you add the win percentages of everybody in chat, it's just about 65%. God bless. Oh, that's great. The idea that the modern metagame has significant shifts outside of times like Eldrazi Winter is just, like, not something that's true. Like, even if Black-Green Rock does something absurd and becomes like, I don't know, 10% of the format, that's still only 10% of the format. It's one in 10 matches. That's not that many. Well, Pokemon Twitch chat, Polytoad, yep. I caught a Farfetch'd that day they had Farfetch'd in the United States. Yeah, Trophy's gonna be a 4x in Gridlock. If you want to read my thoughts on Trophy, you can read my article from last week on CoolStuffInc.com. Talked all about how I would build Green Black Rock with Trophy and my thoughts on the card. Roger. Yeah, that might be one of the decks where mission briefing is like okay, like Snapcaster 5 and 6. Like Thing in the Ice deck specifically might want mission briefing. My article on Cool Stuff Inc. for this week, I actually have it mostly done at this point. I'll probably have it posted tomorrow in the article preview section of the subs Discord. It's going to be talking about mission briefing and other cards that are not Assassin Trophy that I think could be good in Modern out of the latest set. I'm going to keep that. I think this matchup is just basically like all Doomblades on deck. I'm going to put this into play tapped rather than take 2 damage. Then like next turn we can like fetch a tapped land and bolt something. Get to the chopper. bit.ly/Hugel articles. There's also a link to my articles on my website. Added that to the navigation bar at the top. Erdian, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. I played a Baral at the PPTQ today, and my opponent said, good thing we don't have 2-mana creatures that when you untap with, you usually win the game. I guess we know who he wants to see at SCG-Con. That's great. I love stories like that. I love hearing about Hoglandians meeting each other out in the wild. That's great. I got a great idea. How about we don't trash talk other Magic players in my chat? How about if you have a problem with how another Magic player presents themselves, you go be some kind of adult and talk to that person about how they present themselves instead of coming on here and gossiping like some kind of 13-year-old girl. Grow up. The only person you're allowed to trash talk here is me, and by that I mean you better have a good reason to complain about something I'm saying or I'm going to time you out still. Darkslick Shores. God bless lands that don't hurt me. They're really the best. We're talking about a poker player. Whatever. Poker, Magic, another human being who has thoughts and feelings and like reacts to things as a human beings do. I'm very mean, Velik. Just a Stone Cold Bratwurst. I'm about to get Searing Blazed and hate myself. Searing Blooded, maybe. You're going to pick up a Snap with a Ninja yet? We've not. We've actually picked up Mutavault more than anything else, which is kind of funny. Alright, well, we, like, have almost stabilized here, but at the same time, I don't have a way to actually, like, kill my opponent, which kind of sucks. You have to provide justification you agree with the play I make? No, I'm smart and thin. All my plays are great. That sucks, Nivik. Well, hopefully you can watch some of this evening. No plays. God bless. God bless. Poppy needs a threat, chat. Poppy needs a threat. I wasn't hungry when I started streaming, but I'm getting hungry now. I'm glad Christy ordered pizza. I'm American. I should have just assumed I'd have been hungry later. No, I don't think so, GRTE. I don't even think you play Abrupt Decay in the 75. I think it's probably worse than Maelstrom Pulse. Again, if you go to bit.ly/Hukal articles or just grab my latest article off of coolstuffinc.com, you can find how I would build Green Black Rock with Assassin's Trophy on my article from last week there. I think without Bitter Blossom in your deck, the Mistbind Click is just too much of a liability. That is truly unfortunate for us. I just like have all these 1-for-1s in my hand as Curtis like 3-for-1s us. Getting grenaded. This stream probably has more commands than most streams. We provide a lot of information around these parts. It's another grenade. Some bits to time me out. I got you, Retro. We aim to please around these parts. How frequently when you lose and trying to win do you feel outplayed as opposed to outlucked? I mean, so I don't know, it's tough too, right? Like, I don't know that there's strictly a good metric for that. I don't have a good objective measurement for that, so I just like don't want to make up a number off the cuff. I'm really against just like making up random statistics just so like people can like feel good and like collect data. Whoa, that's a little sudden, opponent. How about a big old cup of nope with that one? Can I draw a ninja, please? I would like one ninja, please. Alright, I'll settle for Cryptic Command. That is also a 4-mana blue card. Cryptic Command, also D's. We're getting burned out, chat. We're getting burned out. Just 9 more turns here with a slow grind. Slow ride. Take it easy. Do 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 do. We're gonna draw like Faerie Miscreant and just like hate ourselves because there's Faerie Miscreant in our Magic deck. What's the best way you would suggest to write/spread Magic articles? Just do it. Just do it. Just start doing it. Honestly, the best way if you don't have a publishing platform, you just want to get your name out there, just write self-posts on Reddit. As much as Reddit can be a cesspool that lacks moderation at times, it's definitely a fantastic way to get your name out there. There are a ton of people that click there. I'd recommend self-posts on Reddit more than a blog, because self-posts get around any of the nonsense self-promotion stuff that people hate on Reddit for whatever reason. And they also have decent formatting on there. You know me, I play Jund. I'm buying blue-red wizards. I've watched every iteration you put on your stream. What do I need to be prepared for? Honestly, Jund kind of prepares you okay for blue-red wizards. Jund definitely has a lot of who's the beatdown style matchups. It's basically the biggest thing about the blue-red deck is just like being able to recognize like when you're the beatdown and when you're not. We could die here, but I think I'm supposed to counter this. That feels really bad. I'm not going to crack this fetch land because 1 power creatures then kill us. If Please have a Goblin Grenade that I can take away. It's probably just a land. Yeah. I think I leave a Spellstutter Sprite back here because they're dead next turn regardless, and I would like to not die to a 2-power haste creature. Just need like one more brick out of them, and a good deal of their deck is bricks at this point. Yay! All right, now I have to try and win a game on the draw. It's easier said than done. Yeah, I agree, Chino. Like I said, this is a synergy deck. So fun fact, this is just I'm honest and transparent about how this stream works. If I tell you I'm not willing to play your deck and you really want me to play your deck, that probably means you just didn't offer to send me enough money. I definitely rejected this deck as a $10 donation deck, and then the person who submitted it asked if they could submit it as a $50 donation deck, and I was like, yep, that would be fine for 50. So here we are, giving it a go, taking it for a spin. We got dumpstered by Jund twice. That felt pretty bad. Jund's pretty good against decks that have low average card quality like this. We beat what did we beat? We beat Grishoalbrand. We have a lot of good tools to beat spell-based combo decks in our 75. It's really unfortunate. I think I'm supposed to keep this with a Scry. Just like hope to find a bunch of lightning bolts and stuff. Correct. Yeah. People, you can say a lot of things about me, but I am not dishonest. I am very, very transparent with how things work and why I do the things what I do. Yeah, there's definitely ups and downs, Grevis. I think there's small upsides. Like, honestly, the Delve creatures are probably the biggest gain from adding black because, like, they're offensive cards that, like, also, like, play defense nicely. How was I supposed to... Oh, with Cryptic Command, I could have bounced a Sprite. Yeah, you're super right. That would have been way better. I didn't even think about that. It's a good suggestion. We didn't get punished for it, Ian, but that's a good point out. So in that last game, I could have bounced a Spellstutter Sprite instead of... Yeah, and that's just one of those things, like, I feel like a lot of content creators, they're, like, afraid to admit that they're trying to, like, do what they do as a job, and I'm very upfront about it. Like, I love playing Magic, and I'm, like, okay at it, and I'm moderately entertaining in some instances, but, like, the reason why I'm able to do this as a job as much as I do is because, it's a thing that makes me money. So if occasionally we play kind of medium decks, and some of the times, fair's fair, I'm human and modern's a weird format. Some of the times things I reject that people then force through with extra dollars end up being kind of reasonable, and we get a good league out of them. Nice, JM Rish. Congrats. Over something better in the sideboard. Can you be more specific by what you mean about better in the sideboard? I actually think Duress is a very good card in Modern. It's a card that lets you take Planeswalkers and Cryptic Commands against control decks, but it's also another discard spell that you get to board in against, what's it called? Burn and stuff like that. I think Duress is an underrated card. Reed Duke had a Duress in the sideboard of his Abzan deck at the Pro Tour, I believe, too, right? Yeah, definitely. And honestly, so when we play I've talked about this before too. When we play a deck that I've rejected that someone then forced through with dollars, and it's just like this steaming dumpster fire, I feel validated in a way. Just like, yep, there's a reason we said no to this. This deck has 2 ways, 3 ways to kill an Ensnaring Bridge. It's not guaranteed Lantern. It's probably an Ensnaring Bridge deck, right? They named Creeping Tar Pit. Yeah, we probably have okay tools to be competitive against Lantern. We've got some reach. We've got both discard and counterspell disruption. Cryptic Command can bounce bridges off the table too, so we only have 3 ways to shatter it. We have a lot of ways to tell them to pick it up. Neat comment. We actually we lost to a Jeskai Ascendancy deck that was pure Jeskai. It's like a combo control deck as opposed to dedicated combo deck. We worrying for 1. You brought me pizza? You're the best. Did you end up getting Giordano's?
Do you want anything?
Nope, that looks great. Love you.
Do you want these?
Yes, please. Is that good, chat? Yeah, that look great. My wife's the best. Yeah. Antiquities War is kind of scary. Onions? Yeah, looks like onions. I don't know that we're gonna have the tools to race Antiquities War here. I guess they only have 3 artifacts at the moment. I could jump block a little. I think we just take the sword here just to keep the artifact count low. I'm going to go ahead and attack for 4. Put this other ninja in. Try and stay above 15 so we can take hits from 3 artifacts next turn. Or 2 turns from now, sorry. Thanks, Seth. It's my favorite magic card. This one right here. Love me a Spellstutter Sprite. I think Merfolk Trickster is not particularly good. That's why I don't play it. Yeah, we've played Pauper on stream before. It's just not a very popular format. So people don't really want to watch it. So, do I hit them with the Faerie Miscreant here too? Because if we draw Lightning Bolt or Snapcaster Mage, they die. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can kill 2 and take a hit from 3. I think I just hit them. Hit them down to 3 here. Try and rip a thing. Survey says. Oh, that's an absurd draw, right? All right, so I'm gonna do this now because we could hit a thing. Then I just get to Cryptic tap their team here. That was a risky click. Should have zoomed in. If Voice of Resurgence was borderline unplayable before Terminus was the go-to sweeper, and now that Terminus is the go-to sweeper, Voice is like lost its only leg to stand on, just like is completely unreasonable. No, we can't do it during the upkeep because they don't become creatures until my opponent's main phase. So doing it during the upkeep would be very, very bad. I guess maybe you could argue I'm supposed to bounce the Antiquities War during their upkeep. That gives them one less chance to draw a counterspell. I'm like, if they redeploy Antiquities War, I don't really care about that. Although I guess redeploying Antiquities War like gives them a chance to draw Ensnaring Bridge off of it, which could then lock me out of attacking. Alright, so a bunch of reasonable tools to bring out of the board here. You get a Stroke, a Countersquall, an Abrade. Explosives seems fine. Fatal Push and Terminate seem pretty bad here. How do I feel about Surgical Extraction in this matchup? Surgical Extraction and Dispel, I feel like I could go either way on. What do we think? Hand just doesn't do anything. I feel like we can't just straight aggro them out. We need disruption. Which Scapeshift deck? You're talking about red, green, Valakut Titan? Or like Teamer or Bring to Light Scapeshift? Those decks are all kind of different. That's worth clarifying. EE for 1. Alright. Put the Faerie Miscreant in him. Explosives, I guess. It depends on what your ins and outs are, Pythrion, but I think Brutality's fine to keep in there. They have a lot of X2s you don't mind killing. For reference, Pythrion, Black Brain Rock is one of the many decks that has a sideboarding guide linked on my website. So if you'd like something to compare to. Yeah, possibly as a 1 or 2 of Optimus dies. What STG open locations do I normally attend? I don't attend anything super consistently anymore. It's a lot of effort to get out to play a paper tournament. It's just like better EV for me to hang out at home and stream. I will be playing the Open in Columbus, as well as it's looking like SCG Con. We're 80% of the way there with seven weeks to go. Hey, the Lipton Dipper. Thank you for the 3-month resub there. I appreciate that. I think the mana base in this deck is okay. I think the overall land count is kind of low. Especially for a deck that's like looking to curve out all the way up into Cryptic Command. I think I would prefer 24 or 25 lands in this deck with no cantrips. I'm like, I get that Miscreant and Ninja like kinda draw cards, but they only kinda draw cards. They don't like really draw cards. To answer the question about Martyr Proc, that's a deck we've played on stream before. You can find the archives on my YouTube channel. And you can listen to what Pash Jeff has to say about the deck after having just played it. If you don't have time to watch an entire video on my YouTube channel, there is a... there's always a wrap-up segment at the end of every video where you can skip through to the end and kind of listen to what my thoughts are on the deck after just having played a league with it. Yeah, current Jeff is smart enough to know that, like, he plays enough Magic that, like, you should always go back and listen to what past Jeff has to say. So they get to play... Gosh, they get to play Tezzeret next turn? That's so bad for us. Get to go Darksteel Citadel Castez. So, I'm going to snap Inquisition here, just because I want to get a threat into play. And I know they have a Dispel that I can take out of their hand. I guess I'm taking Whir instead of Dispel. Am I? I think I have to. Card gets Bridge otherwise, and that card kills me. Spellstutter Sprite just looking consistently unimpressive again. If they make this a 5/5, hopefully we draw an untapped land so we can bounce it and then kill Tezzeret. They're drawing cards, that also makes sense. Yep. Yeah, I know. Like I said, like, it was match 2 or 3 in this league. Like, there's a reason why we ended up going to 0 sprites and blue-red tempo. I'm going to take one draw step at a lightning bolt here after they bridge us out of the game. But if we don't hit the lightning bolt to kill Tez this turn, we're pretty likely locked out. Oh, are they not? Are they not sticking bridge here? We might just be dead to this 5/5, but not sticking bridge here is, like, kind of good for us, I guess. Ugh. That's not good for us. I can't Sprite this because if we draw Lightning Bolt, I need Sprite to counter their Dispel. Nah, I've always played a ton of Magic. Now I actually make money playing Magic because I'm doing it on stream instead of, like, doing it in Matt's basement and then traveling to play in tournaments that break even on the weekends. So, synergy piles full of weak cards in Modern. These are synergy cards. The easiest way to tell if something is a synergy card in Modern, generally speaking, if you look at it and go, that's not played in any other decks, so we're trying to do something cute to make this card playable in this deck. And they're just, in order for a synergy card, generally speaking, to be playable in Modern, the payoff that you get when all the synergies come together has to outweigh the downside of how poor these synergy cards are going to be when you draw them individually. So, for instance, like Devoted Druid and Vizier Earth Remedies, these cards are pretty mediocre individually, but they're very, very good when you get them together because you basically make infinite mana and are very likely to kill your opponent. This deck, our upside is that we get to play a 2/2 for 2 that draws a card when it hits somebody. And that upside isn't worth the downside that these other creatures kind of put together in there. So, this deck had a pretty mediocre performance that was honestly about what I was expecting it to do. I wasn't expecting it to be particularly powerful looking at the deck list. All right, that being said, the next deck we do have here is